Oh, there we go. All right. So I think everybody can see our lovely guest for today, which is Miss Lily Brooks O'Brien. Hi, Lily.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. So I have to take a moment and tell people that I actually know Lily Brooks from Memphis, from Germantown, Tennessee. And I had the pleasure, you probably don't even remember, but when you were what, 5 and you were in Sleeping Beauty? Yep, Sleeping Beauty.
I tell everyone my first movie, I played a bunny rabbit.
Yep, I have the cutest picture. I have the cutest picture of you and you're dressed up as a bunny and it's adorable. So anyway, so hopefully we're trying something new. If anybody out there has watched our other Ask Me Anything series videos, we've done 3 so far, and this is a little bit different. We're trying something new so we can actually do a little interview and host the actual live stream. So I can actually finally see comments coming in. So that's really fun. So everything seems to be working. So we will jump right in, and I will just let you tell everybody a little bit about yourself, just a brief little overview.
Yeah, of course. So my name is Lily Brooks O'Brien. I am 13 years old. I play Mandy White on Netflix's The Big Show, which is currently out on Netflix, which is really awesome. It is a TV show which is on Netflix about WWE champion The Big Show and his 3 daughters and his wife after he retires from wrestling. So it's about him and his 3 daughters. One of them's name is Lola. She comes in to move with them. And it's about their family adapting to Show being home more and their half-sister Lola being at home. And it just shows the ups and downs of family life. And I just love the show so much, and I had a blast on it. I also played Matilda on the national tour Matilda, which was amazing.
Yeah, and you were in the one that came really close to us, to Nashville.
Yeah.
I had a lot of friends that came. Yeah, I got to.
We also went to Memphis, which was really awesome. So I got to go to my hometown.
Oh my gosh, that's so fun. That's really fun. And The Big Show, so I finished it a couple nights ago. It's so cute. And it's ranked, what, 3rd right now on Netflix?
It was 3rd a couple of days ago, and we've been moving back up because we're on the 2nd week already. So I think yesterday we were 7, and today we are 9th.
Still, that's really fun. How does that feel to be on a Netflix show that just like jumped up to 3rd?
It's so amazing. I mean, we are competing with, Tiger King and Ozark and all of those like crazy, incredible shows. And I'm honestly just so honored. And I mean, our show is still the #1 comedy in the US and in the world, I think. Yeah, my mom just it's just so crazy that we're the #1 comedy right now.
Man.
Honestly, it's just such an honor to be a part of the Netflix family.
And is this your first film experience? Or you've done like short films and stuff like that, right?
Yeah. So I was also in a movie called Shark Lake where I played Dolph Lundgren's daughter. So that was really fun. And I also was in a movie called Restoration, and then I did a bunch of short films in New York City. One of the short films was called Marina, where I played the main role. It told such an incredible story.
I remember that one.
Actually, the short film went to Cannes in France, which was so incredible, and I loved doing it so much.
That's really awesome. So I am going to open up the floor as the comments start coming in. I'll let you know. I know one thing that somebody was asking before this even started was, what are the big differences? Like, do you have a preference between theater and film? Now that you're in film, could you see yourself going back? Or what is your big challenge there doing that switch?
Yeah. So I feel like going from theater into film or into comedy, doing the Big Show, honestly, my transition was a lot easier because we had a live studio audience, which meant on Friday nights we would film a few scenes in front of an audience. So I feel like that made the transition from theater to film or to camera so much easier because I got to have the audience there, which I feel like having an audience in front of me, I feel like it brings a lot out of me when I am under pressure, in front of an audience. So that was a lot of fun, and I'm just so glad that I got that experience.
Man, that's really awesome. And the main wrestler, I can't remember his name, but he's huge. He's like what, 7 feet tall?
Yes, he's 7 feet tall. So Paul White, he goes by the Big Show.
Yeah.
He is 7 feet tall, and he's so big. Something I mean, to be honest, like I was really, really intimidated, I guess, when I was like about to meet him. So because I went into it like watching videos of him wrestling, which he looks really scary.
He's a little scary.
So I went into it and I met him. He was so, so sweet, so kind. And honestly, he's definitely a big teddy bear. And after we were into filming, like probably the third week or something, it felt like he wasn't even, like super duper tall anymore because I had gotten used to it. But something I didn't get over was how big his hands are compared to huge hands. Something else is that he took his wedding ring off once and just like showed it to me and Juliet, who plays my younger sister. I could fit 3 fingers into
Oh my gosh.
like huge.
So funny. That's so funny. And another star for my generation, he was in Family Matters, Jaleel.
Yes.
How's he? He's supposed to be really funny in person.
Yeah.
I bet he's a nice guy.
Such a nice guy and so, so, so funny in person for sure. He just gave me some great advice and I am so honored to like have worked from him and learned from him.
Yeah.
There were so many incredible actors and actresses on the show, and I'm so grateful to have worked with them. Like Melissa Joan Hart was one of our directors, and she was so incredible. And Phil Lewis was one of our directors. So amazing, and I'm just so honored to have worked with them for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. What a cool experience to be able to do that. So I have some questions coming in. How did you get started in the business?
Yeah.
Outside of Sleeping Beauty when you were 5.
My mom took me to a play at Germantown Community Theater when I was about, I think, 4 years old. And I'm not sure what we saw. I forgot. But during intermission, I was like, Mom, I want to try this. So I went in and I did some camps. I did Sleeping Beauty and I played Bunny Rabbit, which was my first role. So that was really awesome. And after that, I just kept doing little things at Germantown Community Theater, at Stage Door, a bunch of things around Memphis. And then one day I was like, Mom, can I try filming TV? And my mom kind of like brushed it off. She was like, no, I don't really know anything about that. And I feel like I asked her for so long and she just kept giving me excuses. She was a bit too scared to try it. And then she was like, okay, I'm going to take her to Atlanta and I'm going to let her try background work. She's not going to like it. It's not going to be fun for her. And it's just, this is all going to, go away now. And then I did it and I loved it.
You got
backfire from my mom. But now she knows so much about the business and is so incredibly helpful. And I love her so much.
That's amazing.
So I got into the business.
So when did y'all move? Because I know you went from Memphis and then you went to New York. So how old were you when you went to New York? I don't remember.
Yeah, so I moved to New York right after I finished my run on Matilda, the tour. So I think I was about 10, maybe 9 and a half. I think I was 10.
Okay.
So we moved to New York City and we got an apartment there. My dad had a job there. So we all I loved New York. I lived in New York City for 3 years. And so I made so many incredible friends there and had so many amazing auditions. And I loved New York. I still love New York. Something I miss about New York is the subway system. Because when you're in California, my mom has to drive me everywhere. So I can't, go on the subway and yeah, I miss that.
Yeah, LA traffic is not fun. It's not great out that way. Lauren wants to know, what would your dream role be? Do you have a dream role?
Okay, so I guess I don't really have like a dream role for film and TV. I mean, I would love to do a dramatic movie or something more dramatic because I just did comedy, but I would love to broaden my horizons for that. But for theater, I would say Eliza in Hamilton or Glinda in Wicked.
Yeah, those would be fun. That's awesome. Ashley wants to know, do you have any siblings?
Yes. I do. I have a brother. He is 15 years old, almost 16. So he's currently learning how to drive. And then I have a sister named Hannah. She is 11. Wow. She's getting old. She's taller than me now. So.
Oh, man. That's hard to believe.
Yeah, who's older? Are you guys twins? I'm like.
No.
I'm 2 years older.
Yeah, because she was super young when I knew y'all.
Yeah.
You were just like toddling around the theater when I knew you back in Germantown. That's crazy. Chris wants to know, what was the audition process like for the big show? How did you get in? Did you get invited for that, or did you just see?
Yeah. So I was in Los Angeles for about 2 weeks just for auditioning purposes and like pilot season stuff, just to try and audition and get my name out there to casting directors. So I got a self-tape audition for the Big Show. I didn't know it was called the Big Show at this time. So they call a lot of things like untitled sitcom or untitled family show. So I went in, I did the sides, loved the character. I felt really great about it. And the casting director, Julie Ashton, was like so sweet and so nice to me and made me feel like I did so amazing. So I mean, she's incredible, and she gave me the date for the callback, and it was the day before I was going to leave Los Angeles. So I was like, okay, that's good. And I left Los Angeles without a callback. So I was kind of disappointed, but I was like, okay, I'm going to move on. At least I got my name to the casting director, Julie Ashton, and she's a huge casting director around Los Angeles. So I was grateful to have gotten my name into her.
Yeah.
About 2 weeks later, I found out, or maybe a week and a half, we were back in New York, and my mom got an email from my manager saying that they wanted me in Los Angeles the next day at 1:00. May I remind you, it was 9:00 at night in New York.
No pressure.
So, they were like, yes, come on down. I was like, so we decided that we were going to do a self-tape the next day because we weren't able to fly out to Los Angeles. And I woke up the next morning with a stomach bug. So that was really disappointing, but I did the self-tape anyway. I mean, it wasn't my best self-tape. I was sick, but I did my best. And then 2 weeks later, I was at summer camp in East Tennessee with my uncle. It was my birthday, actually. And my uncle came down after he had already came down to wish me happy birthday and told me that I was in the final 2. So I flew out the next week to do a screen test and a chemistry read. And then 12 hours later, we were back in New York after I had flown home, and I had found out I had booked it.
Oh my gosh. And then y'all had to move. How soon? It was pretty quick. Yeah, I was about to say, I remember it was pretty quick. Whew. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
They gave us 9 days to move.
But worth it.
Worth it, for sure.
Awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, about your siblings, do they perform as well? They don't.
Hannah and Colin did for a bit. Hannah did it for like 2 weeks, and I was like, nah, I'm good. Yeah. And then Colin, my mom actually gave me a picture of my brother who did.
Oh my gosh.
My brother.
Oh my gosh.
That is the very first fairy tale trails that I did.
Trail.
And
Megan was like,
yeah.
That's it.
I loved Fairy Tale Trail. That was so fun.
Here's the bunny picture.
Oh, my mom found the bunny
picture. Oh, you found it? Oh my gosh. Uh-oh. Look at that. Oh my gosh. So if you're
I also have a bunny that my grandmother gave me during.
Oh my gosh.
Its other ear is broken. I tried to glue it back on and it didn't work, but
too much character. It's character.
Yeah. Okay.
So if you're just tuning in, so I know Lily Brooks from back in Germantown, and that picture was from when she was in her very first show as a bunny in Sleeping Beauty, and it was just so much fun. So
amazing.
So fun.
Something else that I wanted to talk about before when I was talking about filming in front of live audience, something else that they do when we're filming is they give you your final shooting draft, and then when you're in front of the audience and you're filming, sometimes a joke won't really hit right, and it doesn't go as they planned it to. So they have a huge, all of the writers have a script that is called an alt pack, and those alt packs contain many, many changes for different lines. So they will, if a joke doesn't hit, the writers will come in and they'll be like, okay, this is your new line. And if it's a long line, you just have to memorize it, and then there you go.
Wow.
You'll have to do that line the next take. My mom found them.
That's your
this is a normal script that we have.
Oh, wow.
This was a long script. Jesus. Okay.
How the scripts changed.
So we get a new script almost every night. So Monday we Monday we do table read and a little bit of blocking. Tuesday, we don't get a new script, and we do more blocking, and then that day we do a run through with the writers. And then the writers will meet up, and they'll change lines, and we'll get a new script the next morning. That morning we will rehearse with that script, and then we'll do another run through with the writers, producers like Netflix, WWE, and the writers. So then all of them will meet up and they will get together and change the lines again. That will be our final shooting draft. And then we'll get those alt changes all throughout filming.
Wow. So it sounds like basically you have to be very flexible.
Yeah, honestly, improv really helped me out, like, when doing this. Because if you mess up the line, I mean, you just have to think on your feet and, like, keep that line in your head. So yeah, that was something I had to get used to, but I really enjoyed it, and I feel like it was a really good learning process for me.
Yeah, that's awesome. We have, somebody has heard this in a few of our Ask Me Anythings. What is a side? So when you go into an audition, can you explain a side to them?
Well, a side is basically, so if I go into an audition, they will give me, huh? My mom doesn't want to show her. Go ahead.
We see you.
This is a side. So normally they'll give you a scene, maybe like cut off some of it right here, and then they'll say like start. So they basically just give you a little scene. Maybe some of them are really short, some of them are really long, depending on the character. Normally they will give you maybe 1 or 2 scenes, and they'll have you do it. Sometimes they'll cut out things like that. It's basically a little scene that shows a lot of what your character is for the audition, because they don't want you to have to be in there for too long, but they still want to know if you can do the character. So they'll give you a little scene, you'll have to memorize it, and then you go in and perform this scene in front of the casting director, and that's a side.
Yep, that sounds fun. All right. What would your advice be to a 12-year-old who is wanting to start a career in theater or film? How do you find auditions? Did you have an agent when you first started, or how far into your process did you get an agent?
Yeah, so for the agent question, I signed with an agent when I was about 8 or 9.
No, just.
Okay, 8. My mom said I just turned 8 when I signed with East Coast Talent Agency, which is in Atlanta. So that was my first agent that I signed with. That was for the South and Atlanta and Memphis and all those areas. And then when I moved to New York City, I got a agent. Their name was Take 3 Talent. That was after I did Matilda, I think. Well, I'm not with them anymore, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah.
So I signed with Take 3, and then after I signed with Take 3, I had gotten a manager named Sherry Kane at the Green Room Management, which I love. I love her so much. I love all of my agents. They really helped me get my name out there and helped me to get all my roles. So that's really awesome.
Okay. All right.
And so I think someone asked, how do you, any tips for memorizing lines really quickly?
Yeah.
This is something that I started, I don't know when, but I just did it one day and it was really helpful. Something that I do is if there's like a really long line for me to memorize, I'll go through it piece by piece and I'll say it in a really wacky voice, or I'll go back and do it in my Southern accent. something really, so that it like just is nailed into my head so that I can remember it.
Yeah.
That's cool for me.
Breaking it down, that's a good idea. Did you ever get stage fright?
Yes.
Yeah.
Probably first 10 shows of Matilda, I was always really nervous. And then it just became a habit for me of like, I knew all of the lines, like they would just come off, like, it was just kind of like it was just second nature for me. It's like multiplication. It's like now you know it.
Yeah.
It's like, there were certain times where it would just like slip my mind and I would like forget a line. That happened once and I was like so scared. I didn't know what to do. It was like a huge paragraph. And I was like, oh my God. There were people behind me trying to feed me. Like they were like, this is your line. And I was like,
got nothing.
So sometimes that happens. And I do sometimes I still get stage fright.
Yeah.
Just because it's kind of nerve-wracking because you're in front of a lot of people and, sometimes it's just scary because you have to perform a bunch of lines that you've had to memorize. So it is kind of scary.
Yeah. Well, that rush afterwards, I'm sure we all know that rush when you get off stage and how awesome it feels, right?
Yeah, for sure.
This is one that people have often wondered about with younger actors. How do you balance school and home life?
So on Matilda, I did school with my mom when we were like before call times and stuff. But on the Big Show, we as a minor, I have 9.5 hours on set. That includes 1 hour of school for filming days and 1 hour of lunch. So basically, we're doing about 7.5 hours of filming because we were never let home early. We always used all of our 9.5 hours.
Mm-hmm.
On rehearsal days, we normally had 3 or 2 hours of school. Then we would bank hours on Saturday so that on filming days, we would only have to do 1 hour of school.
Mm.
So I had a set teacher, Miss Lauren, who was so amazing and it was really helpful. I do an online program called Dwight Global. So all of my classes are online, and if I have to miss a class, I can go back and watch the recording, which is really nice. So I just think doing homeschooling has helped me so tremendously because I had time to memorize my lines and do rehearsals and still have time to do school. So that's really nice.
Yeah. And you balance that with other, acting classes, voice lessons, all the things. And you said your mom was saying that your theater teacher or acting teacher is still out in New York. Is that what
So I take acting classes from a acting teacher named Katie Pullum, and she's amazing. Most of my acting training is improv. So improv and scene study, but mostly, I mean, I've taken a lot of improv classes. I feel like they're really helpful for me to kind of think on my feet. Like if I forgot a line, I can easily think on my feet and kind of move the scene along. But I feel like improv is it's the base of acting. So I feel like training in improv is so important, and it really helps me out for sure.
awesome? What do you think? Chris wants to know, what do you think is the top life lesson you've learned so far from your amazing career and experiences?
Never give up. There were so many times that I was told no, and I felt like I wasn't good enough. So there were so many times that I wanted to give up and stop acting because I didn't think that anyone wanted me to play a role. I didn't think the casting directors liked me, and I kept getting into the finals for many things in New York, and then they would go a different way. My thing to remember is that you might not be the perfect look or age or height or anything. It's not about your acting. It's most always about whether or not you're what they're looking for. So something I do remember is that you're not trying to book the role. You're trying to book the room. You're trying to book a spot in the casting director's mind so that whenever there is a role that you are right for, that casting director thinks of you, and then they're like, okay, I'm going to call her in, and then maybe you will book that role because you're right for it. So I've had to remember that. Book the room has always been my saying, and my mom helped me come up with it. But I feel like it's really helpful to remember that you're not always going to be right for a role, and just keep trying and never give up.
Yeah, that's really good advice. I like that, to book the room. That's really good. I know that y'all have had, because a lot of people just see the successes and they forget like that adventure to get there. And I know following along on your adventure over the last 10 years has been pretty incredible. And your family, you're very fortunate, because I know your mom's hiding off scenes when she does that, but she's so supportive and awesome.
Yeah.
I know that really, really helps too. So what is the hardest part, would you say, about your lifestyle right now?
I'm really busy. I had a moment yesterday where just, school is really stressful, and trying to keep up with school and these interviews, and trying to make sure that I am getting everything I need to get done, and trying to make sure that I keep the show. My goal this weekend, next weekend, many weeks to come, is to keep the Big Show in people's minds, because I would love to get a second season.
Yeah.
Because I love being on set. This Big Show family is like my like they're like my second family. Like I'm tearing up thinking about it. Like a second season would be my dream. Like I I miss them so much, and I wish I could hang out with them right now, but we're all stuck at home, and it's been a bit stressful trying to keep up with everything, but I love doing these interviews, and I love school, and I love everything. I'm just trying to make sure that I get it all done.
Awesome. So if y'all haven't watched, go watch. It's
Yes.
really cute. It's
Please
really
go watch
cute.
it. Yeah.
It's funny. Was it hard to leave home and move to New York? How did you deal with that?
Yeah, so leaving Memphis was definitely hard because I grew up there, and all of my friends are there, and my voice teacher, Miss Mandy, is there. I'm gonna plug her real quick. She's on Team Kelly, and make sure to watch her knockout. I keep the battles and the knockouts and
We love it.
like mixed up. But her knockout should be really soon. Monday. It's Monday. Watch it. Please watch it. And if she makes it to the lives, vote for her.
She's so good.
I love her so much. And she taught me everything I know about singing. And I'm just so grateful that I have her. But back on topic. It was definitely hard for me to leave Memphis. All of my friends from school, I went to ECS. All of my friends are there. And we have definitely had a lot of time to go back and visit everyone. And my dad actually currently lives there because he's working in Memphis. And I mean, every time we have winter, spring, summer breaks, we go over there. And hopefully when this is all over, I hope this is all over really soon, I'll actually be going to Memphis and to East Tennessee for 4th of July. And
fun.
I've really missed Memphis for sure. But I feel like it was, I loved living in New York, and it was such an incredible experience for me. I learned so much about just life and everything when I was in New York. And yeah, it's just, I couldn't have asked for a better experience.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I could probably keep talking to you for a long time, but we're at 30 minutes already. We started, I know, we start these, I always advertise these as 15 minutes and they go quickly. So thank you so much for doing this. It's been so much fun catching up, and I just love following on Facebook your journey. Is there anything else you want to say before we sign off?
Yeah, well, make sure to tune into the Big Show Show. Hopefully we will get a season 2. There are currently 8 episodes out, and we made 10. So 2 more, no matter if we get a second season or not, will be coming out. One of them is a Christmas episode, and I'm not sure what the other one is going to do because it was an Olympic episode, but it's been moved. So I don't know when that one's going to come out, but the Christmas one is definitely coming out on Christmas, so that's good. Yeah, make sure to watch all 8 episodes, and yeah, make sure to rate it on Rotten Tomatoes and on Netflix. There's like a little thumbs up button. Just make sure to watch it. Also follow me on Instagram at Lily Brooks O'Bryant. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know anything about season 2, or if I'm allowed to tell you guys. But yeah, thank you guys so much for joining. Thank you all for all of your questions. I really enjoyed this.
Awesome. Well, break legs, keep up the good work, and we will talk to you soon.
So I'll come out for just a second and plug. Oh yeah, okay, with my no makeup look and working.
I know. I actually put on makeup for the first time in like 4 weeks. So
I'm Lily Brooks' mom, and I just want to plug community theater because she started when she was 4, and I was a dancer, and so I did not know the first thing. And she was like, "I want to do this," when she was 4, and I was like, "Oh, okay. Well, you have to keep doing tap and ballet and gymnastics and baton twirling." And she was like, "Okay." But if she had not had the many opportunities in the Memphis area, there are like 13 different theaters that have opportunities for kids. And so once she said she was all in when she was 6, she was able to go from show to show to show, like close a show on Monday, start rehearsals on Sunday, start rehearsals on Monday. And so I think as part, like that 10,000 hours, that people talk about, I really think that it played a huge part in why she could do Matilda, why she could get Matilda, and her determination. I mean, a lot of it is just personality, but for parents listening, I mean, it's not they easy. Have to want it because it's not easy.
It's really not easy.
And it's a sacrifice for the family, but like she wanted it so bad. And so I was just along. I wasn't really along for the ride. I was the person on the back of the bus, like hanging onto the bumper, like being dragged. Like that was me. Because she asked for 8, she didn't mention this. She asked for 8 months straight, every day from the time she was 7 until we got her an agent when she was 8. And I only contacted one agent in Atlanta because I was like, not gonna happen. And so yeah, the agent was like, yes, I would love her. And I was like,
oh no, joke's on you, Mom.
Literally, community theater is so important to, and it gets frustrating sometimes. They don't get the roles you think they should get, but the time is so key. And especially when they're young, they're learning so much, and to have different directors and to have different people that they're acting with, it's just a lot of time. And I think that's the most important thing. I really do. And she didn't mention that we spent a whole summer in New York when she was 8 before she got Matilda, and that was super helpful for her training because we kind of were like, okay, if she's going to get Matilda, we're either all in or all out, and she's got to figure out if doing 8 hours every day of training, if she's cool with that. And if she's not, that's great because we're all out, Yeah. Oh my God, she loved it. So
all in.
And something that she doesn't really want me to tell people, but I think is, she says she got frustrated and it's hard. You're too blonde, or you're too tall, or you're too short, or you're too old, or you're too young, or you're too thin. I'm not kidding. That came up
really
recently. A month ago.
Crazy.
She made it. She's tested. She didn't mention we flew here a year and a half ago for her to test. No, exactly a year ago for her to test for another role for Disney, and she didn't get that. And she tested for a role a month ago for another series, and she made top 3 and she didn't get it, and she's too thin. So I mean, it's okay, she just did. They loved her, but a friend counted, had me count. She's been told no over 400 times.
Whew.
Okay, so, and she's 13.
Yeah.
So it's just persistence.
It just shows how long it takes to get there in your career, because it takes so much hard work, and that means that I probably went in for probably 500. I mean, I haven't booked 100 things. I've probably gone in for 470 auditions.
Wow.
And I got mostly said no to.
Yeah.
But it's so important to just keep going, because if you just try it for a long time and you keep getting said no to, it's not because you're not good enough. It's because the roles that you've been auditioning for weren't for you, and at least you went in and the casting director saw you, and I'm sure they remembered you. Something that my mom just mentioned, like that test that I went in for, that casting director is probably going to remember me for a while. And that means that hopefully another role will come up if we don't get a season 2, but hopefully we do. And same with another role. I went in for something a few weeks ago, and the casting director was, she wasn't right for the role, but I'll definitely remember her for other things. And when the casting directors say that, it just makes me feel like I've done my job, because that's the whole goal, and that's what I want, because you're not always going to be right for the role, and when you are, you want them to think of you. So that's really helpful.
Thank you for having her on.
Sorry that this was too long.
No way. Like I said, we could go on forever. That makes my heart really happy to hear that, and I know that's a really great and powerful message for our younger audience that's out there. So
I love acting so much. I mean, going into set during the Big Show, it never ever felt like a job. It always felt like I was going in and having fun. It felt like I was at recess all the time. It was awesome. So awesome. I love doing it, and I never ever want to stop.
Awesome. Well, Lily Brooks, it's been fantastic. Thank you so much, and I guess we will catch up, and I'll see more from you soon. Okay.
Okay. Bye. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Bye.